just work, man. Just work, and everything else that you want will come.
Kenny, how important is it for you this season to embrace that leadership role, especially on the defense?
Well, the crazy thing is, I've always embraced the leadership role. Like my freshman year when I got here, and Eric Hendricks was the linebacker and the captain of the defense, and Brett Hundley was the quarterback, you know, the leader of the offense. I've always used those guys to help me try to scope that leadership role. I was working on it day in, day out, to where whenever I got to be a leader, it was just natural for me. The transition, it really wasn't a transition because I've been practicing it so long. So, you know, where I am at now, I've just been practicing it for so long. It just, you know, happens that I'm seen as a leader, and I'm just embracing it, you know, and being that positive. If anybody that you want to look to on the team, you know, especially for the young guys, you know, as an example, a role model on how to handle work each and every day, and how to handle adversity as well, I want to be that guy, and that's why I take pride in. And yeah, it's helped me a lot.
How fun is a day like this for you today with all these cameras, media day? Just kind of
it's beautiful, man. Y'all have beautiful smiles.
Who's the most underrated player on your team?
Underrated. I wouldn't say underrated. You know, everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. You know, because you can say my freshman year, you know, I had the most weaknesses. Well, now I'm here, you know, as you know, the leader of the defense, leader of the team, actually, to you know, where those weaknesses that I once had, or some might have seen it as, is my strength. So I don't really want to throw anyone underneath the bus like that. I think everybody has greatness inside of them. It's just a matter of time of when it unleashes, and I think you help show your greatness and your work ethic by just putting in the work day in, day out.
What about a guy maybe that's poised to have a breakout season or two, like people that you've seen in the offseason that you're like, okay, that guy's going to take a real step forward?
I think a Darius Pickett, our safety, is going to take off this year. And I think Kelly Wilson on the offense is going to take off this year. I think you're going to see a whole different Josh Rosen that you've seen in the past this year. And I think Jalil's going to make a lot of plays. A lot of guys that's going to do great things.
Kenny, did you see the concussion study that came out from the NFL yesterday?
No, I didn't. What are they saying?
So they took a look at the brains of 112 deceased NFL players, and
right.
111 of them came back positive for CTE. I wondered, like, do you have any reaction to that sort of thing, you know, as a player and someone who has, I'm sure, NFL aspirations?
Well, that's the thing with football, man. I think, you know, you could just say, you know, look at it from an NFL perspective, but it's on every level. It's even when I started playing football for 9 and 10 football, park ball. You make the decision to play football. And whenever you make the decision to play football or do anything, you have to accept the good and bad with that. You know, like I play football and I play linebacker. And, you know, I'm tackling or hitting somebody every single play.
Right.
But the only thing you control is how you do it. You know, do you want to be the guy that knocks people out every single play just for entertainment, or are you that guy that, you know, cares about your long-term health? Like for me, I want to play this game a very long time. You know, and it feels like I've been playing it for a very long time, but I'm only, you know, about to be a senior in college. So, you know, there's a certain way I go about practice. There's a certain way I go about hitting a person, and all that goes into, you know, effect. You know, so it's really upon the person to, you know, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But it comes with, you know, pros and cons. I don't think you can blame the NFL or, you know, your high school coach or your college coach to do that, because you signed up for this. You know, you know this comes with, you know what the circumstance comes with, and you know, it's a choice upon yourself.
I don't think you have a concussion history, or at least not that I know of. But,
right. No, I don't.
Have you ever had any second thoughts about playing, or has it always been something that you're willing to accept that risk?
No, I've always enjoyed football. Football is something that has taken me from one point in my life and raised me to a whole entire another section of my life that I haven't seen, and I don't think I would have got to that level if I hadn't played football. So I try to focus on the positive, you know, and not the negative. So that's my, I don't really, I've never had a concussion, you know. So I think if you just handle it the right way, in the right manner, you know, you tackle the person the right way, and not try to, you know, run straight through them and try to get a big hit. You know, you save yourself some chances. You know, just the game. You have to play the game safe. And one thing I would respect about NCAA and NFL is that they've managed and regulated rules and things about, you know, the targeting thing. You know, I was one of the guys that got ruled off for targeting the first year they did it, and I was pissed, man. I was hella pissed. But you know, I went home. It took me some time, about a week. It was like the 5th play of the game, by the way, too. So I had like 1 tackle. I was mad. So, but I went home. I was like, you know, maybe that was meant to happen. You know, maybe I just need to chill out and play the game a little bit more safe. You know? So is it about my stats at the end of the day, or is it about my safety? And for me, it was about my health. It's about my safety. So that's, you know, that's what I grabbed for. You know, it was great that happened to me. You know, if you look at the hit, I didn't hit the guy at all, but that experience helped me a lot.
How do you approach this offseason differently based on what you've learned in past off seasons, what works and what doesn't work?
Well, the main thing is you just want to stay consistent. You know, whenever you're playing football, basketball, whatever it is, you just want to stay consistent. And like I said, you continue to build on the things that has got you to where you're at in your career. So right now I have more knowledge than I had when I was a freshman. I'm more mature. I see plays happening before they actually happen. And that's all from experience, you know, and I know how to handle my body whenever I go home at night. I know the things to eat, I know the things to drink, you know, I don't smoke, so that helps a lot. So I know, like, your car is like an engine, you know, if you put regular gas in a Ferrari, it's not going to be a Ferrari in 5 years. You know, it'll be a Prius. People are like, what the heck is going on? So that's how your body operates, and that's how I think of it. So, you know, yeah, that's the main thing.
Early on in their careers, what have you seen from them?
Darnay is just, man, that Deion Sanders swagger. Like, it was crazy because in spring ball, you know, Coach Meek, our defensive back coach, put him in with the ones, and it's like the first couple of plays, he was like doing things that you don't see very often. Like, he'll show blitz, but when he's supposed to be like covering or whatever, I'm like, man, this guy is like, it's natural to him very early, and he's just a nasty raw guy, man. I love his game, you know, and he's only a baby. He's a rookie, you know. He's trying to find his way to maximize his potential, and I think he's going to do great things. He has impressed me this past spring ball.
Kenny, is there more pressure on the defense since the offense is going through so many changes for the 3rd year in a row? Does that put more pressure on you guys to perform?
Nah, man. Pressure is I think the pressure is a privilege, and I think the rest of the guys, you know, they do the same thing. We don't try to do that. We don't try to throw pressure on ourselves. You know, we say, okay, look, we'll cut off the bad, and we move forward with the positives. And a lot of times this past year, you know, we only won 4 games and had 8 losses. That is terrible for a defense to have 8 losses. It's terrible for anybody to win 4 games with the offense or whatever, however you want to look at it. So, you know, I just think that the defense will always have the offense back. And I think one thing is the offensive line that they maybe, you know, they maybe not really turned their backs. So a bunch of things happened to where, you know, they didn't want to play UCLA offense or football. So they felt like they didn't have our back at some times. And, you know, it was frustrating as a defensive guy because, like, man, you know, we sit here getting these stops, but, you know, you guys are not matching, you know, what we're doing. And I think, you know, they've learned this offseason that they have bigger responsibility. You know, they owe it back to themselves and the team. And like I said, that wasn't us. You know, they owe it back to UCLA football, standard of playing. So I don't think they're adding any pressure on each other. We just try to make each other better. And that starts in practice. And on game day, it's a celebration, man. We don't really think about anything. We just go out there, you know, react off of preparation and our instincts, and just try to get the W. You know, everybody want to win.
What do you remember most about preparing for and/or playing against Sam Darnold last year?
Man, that guy got hit by, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was Tech McKinley, but he got hit so hard and he just popped up. I'm like, man, this guy's tough. Is it, you know, what is it, freshman, sophomore, whatever?
Redshirt freshman.
Yeah, whatever it is. So he's a tough guy. He's a true competitor. I've seen it twice. Josh Rosen, his freshman year. Man, he looks like Peyton Manning back there in shotgun, to where, you know, if he sees something that, you know, the defense is doing that he don't like, he'll make a check. That is not normal. You know, where you see signs of guys being natural and just taking over the game like that and having success at it. You know, doing it over and over, game in and game out. And Sam got that same type of mentality. You know, he's a true competitor. I'm sure it starts in his preparation. I would love to see how he works behind the scenes, you know, because that's when all his work is done. But he's a great competitor. I love playing against that guy. He always have something that you want to play, play for and play against. And he's had some success, but I think that his whole mindset of being a top competitor and being above average has helped him a long way. And you see it with Josh Rosen too. I think the thing with Josh Rosen is that he just battling adversity, but he battled adversity this past year. And there are two guys that I say will have a very bright future.
In a two-program town like LA,
right.
How much of a motivator is it to have USC over there? You've been on both sides of that. You've been up and you've been down in that rivalry. How much does that matter?
Well, it's crazy when I was growing up. The thing for me, I'm not from LA, I'm from New Orleans, was Alabama and LSU. I would love, when I was a kid, I would love to play in that game. And, UCLA started out recruiting LSU and Alabama, so let me see what the West Coast like. And I wasn't a big fan of USC or UCLA till they started recruiting me. And then the guys, like even the whole week before the game, like the professors asked me, hey man, you guys gonna how many points are you gonna score on USC? How many tackles are you gonna have, Kenny? Or whatever it is. Then I started, the hype started building up, It felt like game day, literally, like every day prior up to the game for some reason, like just their energy in practice, the energy in the locker room was just different. And I think that's something special, whenever you have a rivalry game, like USC, it just energy to thrive off. And something, whenever we get to the game time, we're just out there playing the top competitor. And I think the guys, on our team, really do respond well to that, and it's always a battle, always.